Users are furious at Firefox. The CEO made a claim it would become a modern AI browser, and now users are leaving. But what if I told you this wasn't the real problem? There's actually something much worse happening to Mozilla Firefox than AI. Okay, first we need to talk about their strange AI moves. December 2025, Mozilla appoints a new CEO, Anthony Enzor-DeMeo. Before he joined in 2024, DeMeo had an executive role in the rental marketplace, Roofstock, as well as senior roles in Wayfair. Not exactly the resume you might hope for a non-profit like Mozilla, but whatever. Then on December 16th, he posts a public blog, laying out his vision and the future of Firefox. And some of it sounded pretty good. It was titled, "Building the World's Most Trusted Software Company." But as people read, other bits had users a bit confused. The internet is changing fast, and so are the expectations people bring to the products they use every day. Mozilla has a critical role to play at this moment. Privacy, data use, and AI must be clear and understandable. AI should always be a choice, something people can easily turn off. Firefox will remain our anchor. It will evolve into a modern AI browser. In 2025, Firefox had been gradually adding all kinds of AI features. They added a sidebar which lets you choose an LLM like ChatGPT, as well as highlight part of a page and ask it to summarize, explain, quiz, or more. Then they added Perplexity, the AI answer engine, to their search. Next, an AI window to chat with an AI assistant while browsing, as well as a shake to summarize for iOS, which would of course use AI. To be clear, AI features aren't necessarily bad. Some can actually be extremely useful. In another blog, Firefox wrote, "We believe standing still while technology moves forward doesn't benefit the web or humanity. That's why we see it as our responsibility to shape how AI integrates into the web." I can't really fault them for that. And to be clear, in Anthony's first letter, he does say AI should always be a choice. And Firefox does this much better than, say, Google's AI search features. But for Firefox, it's a bit tricky. Mozilla has a problem that others don't.
The thing about Firefox, for those that don't know, is that Firefox originally started off as a browser that was meant to be a privacy kind of security-focused browser. It was a browser for nerds by nerds.
It's one thing if Google pushes AI into everything and ruins search because no one really trusts Google anyway. But this is Firefox, the privacy-first browser, the one major browser which doesn't use Chromium. Users felt this new direction was a betrayal. Why are they trying to take away all the good parts of their product on top of making the bad ones even worse? WTF does an AI browser even mean? It's not about liking or not liking AI. Lots of Mozilla users are very fond of privacy and simplicity. Adding AI is just going against their own market, however big or small. Many users were worried about what was next. If this was the trend, how far would Firefox take AI? And that comment from Anthony cemented this. Firefox will evolve into a modern AI browser and support a portfolio of new and trusted software additions. There is a recent move in browsers, which includes Firefox, towards becoming a fully agentic browser. An LLM built in which reads the page, can explain, extract info, answer questions, fill forms, compare products, write emails, even running agents that click around. And this comes with a security risk. Prompt injections. People can hide prompts inside a web page or document even if you can't see them, and use this to trick your LLM into sharing your private details, sending you malware, or even connecting to remote plugins that run malicious code. Even if an LLM has safeguards, hijackers can jailbreak it. One way is to convince the LLM to pretend to be Dan, aka do anything now, an AI with no rules. With LLMs, attackers no longer need to rely on Go, JavaScript, Python, etc. to create malicious code. They just need to understand how to effectively command and prompt an LLM using English. To be clear, Firefox isn't entirely at this point yet. Its existing features, like its AI summary function, still have prompt injection risks, although maybe not as severe. So the bigger question is, why do this? Why move into AI if your audience doesn't want it? Before we can answer that, we need to look at something else going on. AI features might actually be the least of users' worries right now. Take a look at this. Does Firefox sell your personal data? Nope, never have, never will. This is in the FAQ section of their terms of service. Or at least, it was. In early 2025, it was quietly removed. Something strange is going on at Mozilla. The Firefox change feels like when Google removed their "Don't Be Evil" mission statement. It wasn't just that one either. Users also spotted a change in Mozilla's public GitHub repository for the Firefox website. A commit removed the line, "Unlike other companies, we don't sell access to your data." Now, to be clear, they did add in another section saying you're in control over who sees your search and browsing history. But it's still very weird to remove such clear values. It turns out there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It began in October 2021, when Firefox Suggest, their newest feature, added sponsored suggestions into the search bar. Honestly, you could do much worse than this for ads. Plus, no data about you was collected or shared. At least, that's what Mozilla implied. Though some users weren't too happy about it. In particular, this feature was on by default, but that was just the beginning. In July 2024, they added Privacy Preserving Attribution, or PPA, a more private way to track ad conversions like a sign-up or purchase without normal cross-site tracking. Sounds good, right? Well, it's still ad tracking in a more privacy-focused browser, and this got them in some hot water. In September that year, NOYB, a European Center for Privacy and Digital Rights, filed a complaint with the Austrian Data Protection Authority against Mozilla for tracking behavior without consent. They argued using PPA turned the browser into a tracking tool. It's a shame that an organization like Mozilla believes that users are too dumb to say yes or no. Users should be able to make a choice, and the feature should be turned off by default. To make matters worse, around this time, Firefox also removed the Do Not Track setting. To be fair to Firefox, most websites ignored this, and they were adding something to replace it. But to many users, it wasn't a good look. In my opinion, part of a broader trend to bait and switch general privacy concerns for more specific ones. But the biggest red flag for many came in February 2025, the new terms of use. When you upload or input information through Firefox, you hereby grant us a non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide license to use that information to help you navigate, experience, and interact with online content as you indicate with your use of Firefox. Very quickly, this caused a stir. It seemed like this implied Mozilla was asking users for the rights to whatever data they input into the browser or upload, and to potentially sell it to advertisers. Firefox quickly rewrote it, but the damage had been done. The backlash was massive, and Firefox realized they hadn't handled it the best, be it the privacy changes or the AI features. So they announced some new features. We've heard from many who want nothing to do with AI. Listening to our community led us to build AI controls. You could now block AI features and toggle all of them off in one click, an AI kill switch. This was a great step, and users did appreciate it, but many still weren't happy. But there's still an unanswered question. Why the move to advertising and AI features if your audience likes neither? The answer, as it turns out, is because of Google. I'm not anti-AI. I actually like some AI products. I'm just against having them forced on you. If you feel the same, consider subscribing. It means a lot. You might think of Firefox and Google as opponents, but the reality is a bit more complicated. Firefox uses Google as default because Google pays Mozilla to do so. In fact, they do this for almost all browsers. 86% of Firefox's revenue comes from this deal with Google. That's $510 million out of $593 million. But this is now at risk. Google was ruled a monopoly in an antitrust lawsuit, and it was doing so by paying other browsers billions to keep that spot. There's no official order yet, but if Google is prohibited from making these deals, then it's bad news for Firefox. Anthony told The Verge, "I do think we need revenue diversification away from Google, but I don't necessarily believe we need revenue diversification away from the browser." That's why Firefox is adding all kinds of products like VPN, but also AI. It's also why Anthony talked about the web moving forward. More and more people are searching with AI. They need to keep up, and the default search function is getting less valuable. Plus, there's also new competition like Perplexity's AI browser, Comet. But this also applies to advertising too. In an interview with The Verge, Anthony said something interesting. When talking about diversifying away from Google, he said he could begin to block ad blockers in Firefox and estimates that it'd bring in another $150 million. But he doesn't want to do that. It feels off mission. But the fact that he knows that number off the top of his head shows that it was considered. Many people don't trust Mozilla with their new direction. So many are moving to a new browser which is beginning to explode recently, Brave. And no, they are not sponsoring this video. Brave also has AI features and even advertising. So why are these users more okay with Brave and draw the line with Firefox? Well, Brave's monetization, like Brave ads, their VPN, or even AI features, all share the same thing. You can turn on Brave ads to get rewards, which are off by default. They have AI agentic browsing off by default, and the risks are front and center. Agentic browsing is also inherently dangerous, giving an AI control if your browsing experience could expose personal data or allow agentic AI to take unintended actions. We are offering AI browsing behind an opt-in feature flag in the nightly version of Brave. Like all AI features in Brave, AI browsing is completely optional and off by default. Even if you don't like it or plan on using it, you know the brand promise from the get-go. Plus, you can feel the difference in philosophy. Brave's chatbot, Leo, is built in, doesn't retain or share chats, doesn't use them for training, and doesn't even use a login. Firefox uses the existing LLMs, which of course do most of the above. Brave isn't perfect by any means. Its home screen, I think, is a bit tacky. It has its own criticisms and it's not for everyone. But Brave feels like it's opt-in, while Firefox is feeling more and more like opt-out. The promise with Brave, even if you don't want these features, is upfront, whereas Firefox feels like it's quietly forcing them on users who keep having to turn them off. Also, I don't think Brave needs to or should replace Firefox. Both can coexist, and it's actually good if they do with Chrome's dominance. But Firefox should probably read the writing on the wall, because it currently says opt-in, not opt-out. Mozilla isn't the only one having AI troubles. Microsoft has been begging people to use Copilot, but it's not going well. Check out this video to learn more. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.